In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to set up your GoPro for motovlogging. Let's get it.
No, I'm sturdy like a milli rocket. Skin clear, still look young, Andy Miller knocking money in my pocket. Don't call me a money pocket, engine get your rocket. It sound like a thunder rocket, yeah.
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. And if you're new here, make sure to smash that sub button to not miss out on any of my videos. So you've watched my previous video on how to set up your motovlogging helmet and want to know how to set up your GoPro for recording. If you haven't, go watch the previous video. I'll link it in the cards above here. The first thing we'll be talking about is resolution. So let's get into the GoPro. I'll screen record my phone and just walk you through step by step. So now the screen recording on my phone should be up on here, and let's dig into the app. Cool. So let's get into the actual settings. Bike settings here. So now we're looking at resolution. First thing we're gonna want to do is pick a resolution. It really doesn't matter which one you use. You can use 1080, 2.7K or 4K, but you have to remember that 1080 is going to be the smallest file, and most of the screens don't play anything higher than 1080. You have your TVs at 4K and your phones play around 2K, but if you want, stick to 4K. It's going to be a little bit heavier, a little bit more difficult to edit, but you should be okay. The highest resolution that you can use is going to be 5.3K on the GoPro, which is going to be very heavy but very good. But for this video, we're going to stick to 4K. And now let's change the frames per second. It's the FPS. If you want a very natural looking motion blurred video, you can stick to 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second if you want that natural motion blur. I like to use 60 frames per second just because I'll be able to slow down some sections and be able to cut some sections and whatnot. And if I do end up wanting to slow-mo anything, I have the capability of doing that. The next thing we're going to talk about is the lens type. So the point of view, how big the image you shoot is going to be. You could stick to wide. That's going to give you more of a natural point of view. What we see is going to be basically wide, but we're trying to get the most information as possible, so we're going to stick to super view. Now, for stabilization, you have to turn it off because you don't need stabilization. Our necks are a natural stabilizer on the helmet, so you're completely fine. You don't need to use a standard boost or the boost plus whatever now it is, because all you're doing is cropping into the image and you're running out of space. So just turn it off completely, you'll be all right. The next thing we're going to go to is bitrate. The higher the bitrate, the better quality of the footage. It is going to be heavier, but we want the best footage as possible. We're going to leave shutter speed on auto because it does a good job already, the GoPro on shutter speed. But the general rule of shutter speed is the 180 rule. So if your frames per second is 25 frames, your shutter speed should be 50. If it's 30 frames per second, your shutter speed should be 60. And 60 frames per second should be 120. And 120 frames per second should be 240. You get the drill. So next thing we're going to be talking about is the EV comp. The EV comp, put it minus 0.5 because it's just going to bring that bright light that comes through the clouds. If you're going through a forest and suddenly you get a big flash of bright light, you don't want the video overexposed. So we keep it on a -5. If it's a very, very, very sunny day, you could drop it down to minus 1.5 and you'll be all right. Next thing we need to set up is going to be the ISO. ISO is the amount of light the sensor lets in and the brightness, effectively, how bright the video is. We want to stick the minimum to the minimum, which is 100, and ISO max is important. You want to keep it the lowest as possible. So 400 is all right. You can bump it up to 800, but if you bump it up to 1600, your image might be very bright, but it will start introducing grain to the footage, so you have like red weird dots. Now, we're going to leave white balance on auto. That's fine. The camera does a really good job with white balance. Now, sharpness. Sharpness, I'd suggest low if you're planning to color grade, color correct, and do your LUTs and just get the most out of your footage. Is going to be on the low setting. And if you're a little bit lazy like I am when it comes to GoPro footage, you want to do the bare minimum when it comes to riding footage, just leave it on natural, should be fine. Don't use vibrant because vibrant becomes very orange and very like dotty. The road becomes really spotty. It's horrible. Just keep to natural or low. Raw audio can stay off. Wind, auto. Now my GoPro is in a media mod. I got the 10, so you're going to need a 10 as well, and you're going to have a media mod or the microphone adapter. Just do camera mics, it's fine. Once you plug in your microphone into the media mod, it will automatically connect to the lav mic that's around into your helmet. If you haven't watched the video, again, check that out. Drop a sub, to not miss any videos in the future. Now, on-screen shortcuts is down to you. So I've got lower left the lens, so if it goes from super view to wide, and then lower right I've got the zoom. I never use it. Upper left is off, and upper right is hyper smooth. I honestly never use it during motovlogging. I set it up, I go out for a ride, I get back in, I review the footage. If it's usable, I edit the video and post it, and if it's not, I delete the whole thing and go out again. Sometimes I can be out about 5 to 10 times just recording one video, and even after the 10th time I'll delete it because I don't like it. That is how to set up your GoPro for motovlogging. Just get out there, experiment, tweak around with all the settings. If you've got any questions, drop them down in the comment section below and I'll answer them. And if there's any questions specific about any of the subjects we spoke about, I'll make up a video actually again in depth. You can pause the video and take a look at the settings that I've got, copy them, throw them in your GoPro, throw the GoPro in your helmet, go out, record and see how it comes, and drop me a comment either on this video or on my Instagram, which is going to be in the cards here somewhere or in the end screens, and let me know how you got on with it, and if anything I can give you a hand with improving the setup. We're going to end it like we always do. Stay safe, ride safe, peace. In a bit. Come on man, you're still not subscribed. Seriously man, I'm trying to get that 1K. We've got better content coming out. Let's get it.